Okay, so we learned how to determine the shape, and now we're going to complete the square on each, and that will get it into standard form. Okay, so that's the goal today. Complete the square on these to get into standard form. Okay, so this first one, because I know this is a horizontal parabola, I'm going to put the x plus 41 on that side and all the y stuff on the other side. So now it's going to be negative y squared and minus 18y. Okay, so now I'm going to factor out on this side. And when I do that, this is y squared. Be careful here. This is a plus 6x. And then I leave a spot, do you remember this from grade 11? To complete the square in this trinomial. Okay, so what goes on that blank? So you always take half of this, which is 3, and square it. So plus 9. Okay, now you can see that on this side I didn't just create 9, I created a negative 27. So to balance it out, I need to subtract 27 on that side. So the final is x plus 14 equals negative 3 y plus 3 squared. Okay, so now you can see the vertex, right? And so things like that. So negative 14, negative 3 is the vertex, and it opens left. So that would be the general idea. Okay, next one. So we have a circle here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the x stuff together, the y stuff together, and move the number over. Okay, so I got to group all the x stuff together, but I'm going to factor out a 3. So x squared plus 6x, and I'm going to leave a spot, and I'm going to factor out the 3 on the y squared, and when I factor that out I get a negative 2, and again I'm going to leave a spot. Okay, so groupings, factor out. Now what goes on this blank? So half is 3, squared is 9, half is negative 1, squared is 1. So on here I added 27, and on here I added 3, so that becomes 36 on that side, and this becomes 3x plus 3 squared plus 3y minus 1 squared. Okay, on a circle though, we eliminate these coefficients. So I need to divide by 3. So x plus 3 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals 12. Okay, so on this one your radius would be the root of 12 and your center would be negative 3, 1. Okay, hyperbola. It's the same idea, groupings of your x's, groupings of your y's, number, move over. Okay, so factor out. Alright, so we're going to factor out 4, x squared plus 4x plus blank. Factor out a negative 3, so y squared, be careful there, minus 8y blank equals 44. Okay, what goes on this blank? Half squared is 4, half squared is 16. What is this value? 16. And this value is a minus 48. Okay, so let's write it with a binomial squared. x plus 2 squared gives us that trinomial. Y minus 4 gives us that trinomial. And that all together adds to 12. Okay, now when we do a hyperbola, we always want a goal of having 1 over here. So we're going to divide everything by 12. Okay, now let's worry about, oops, 3 divided by 12, I'm going to reduce to a 1 and a 4. And 4 over 12, I'm going to reduce to a 1 over 3. Okay, parabola, so I'm going to go x and my number, all my y's over there. Okay, factor this out. This looks pretty similar to the one we did before. Okay, so now we're going to give ourselves a blank. Half squared is 9. That's a negative 27. So we end up with x plus 9 equals negative 3, y plus 3 squared. Okay, circle. Groupings, x stuff, y stuff, number moved over. Okay, when you start getting a little faster, you can probably do this in 2 steps, or in 1 step instead of 2, where you can factor out and move over. So factor out the 4. Okay, create the blanks. So this is a 4, this is a 9. I add 16 and 36. So this is x plus 2 in the brackets is a binomial. And we have a y plus 3 in the brackets. And this comes out to 48. Okay, and a circle, so I don't want a number.
Why did you over?
Right there. So x plus 2 squared plus
Never
y
put it
plus 3 squared equals 12.
Never put it.
Okay, and okay, hold on 2 seconds. Okay, groupings. The x stuff, the y stuff, the number over. Okay, factor outs. Leave a spot, factor out, leave a spot. Okay, what goes on the blanks? Divide by 2 squared is plus 16. Divide by 2 squared is 4. This adds a 48. And this adds a 16. So now we have 3, and the binomial is x plus 4 squared. This binomial is y minus 2 squared. And on that side, that all adds up to 12. And this is an ellipse, so we always want 1 there. So we need to divide everything by 12. Okay, so this will reduce to having a 4 on the bottom. This would reduce to having a 3, and then we get our 1. Okay, last one.
Mom.
Shh, last one. Okay, so this same thing, I'm going to do two steps in one. So I'm going to factor out at the same time as moving. So I'm going to go 5 x squared minus 4x minus, so it's like a minus 1 out there, x squared minus 8y is positive 6. Okay, So now I'm going to put my blanks. This is a plus 4. This is a plus 16. So now 5 binomial squared minus 1, don't need to write, y minus 4 squared equals, now we're going to balance this back out, 20 and a minus 16 equals a 10. Okay, goal to have 1 on that side. So our final will read x minus 2 squared over 2 minus y minus 4 squared over 10 equals 1. And there is your hyperbola in standard form.